Carl Jung's quote, "All the works of man have their origin in creative fantasy. What right have we then to depreciate imagination?" is a profound statement that underscores the indispensable role of imagination in human achievement and challenges the tendency to undervalue it in favor of more pragmatic or rational faculties. To fully unpack this quote, we need to consider Jung's psychological, philosophical, and cultural perspectives, as well as the broader implications of his words. Below is a detailed explanation. The meaning of all the works of man. Jung uses the phrase all the works of man to encompass the entirety of human creation and achievement. This includes artistic creations, paintings, literature, music, and other forms of artistic expression, scientific discoveries, inventions, theories, and technological advancements, such as the development of electricity, space exploration, or medical breakthroughs, cultural and social constructs, philosophies, religions, political systems, and societal structures, personal achievements, individual aspirations, dreams, and innovations, from entrepreneurial ventures to personal growth. Jung's point is that every significant human accomplishment, whether tangible or intangible, begins as an idea or vision, an act of imagination. Without this initial spark, none of these works would exist. Creative fantasy as the origin. The term creative fantasy is central to Jung's statement and reflects his psychological framework. For Jung, creative fantasy is not mere daydreaming or childish whimsy but a dynamic, purposeful process rooted in the human psyche. It is the ability to envision possibilities beyond the immediate, material reality. This concept aligns with Jung's broader theories about the psyche, particularly the unconscious mind. Jung believed the unconscious is a source of creativity, containing archetypes, symbols, and insights that fuel imagination. Creative fantasy often emerges from this deeper layer of the psyche, allowing humans to access novel ideas and solutions. Active imagination, a technique Jung developed. Active imagination involves engaging with the unconscious through visualization, dialogue, or creative expression to explore inner images and ideas. This process underscores the power of imagination to bridge the conscious and unconscious, fostering both personal growth and creative output. Archetypal inspiration. Jung saw imagination as a way to tap into universal patterns or archetypes. For example, the hero, the shadow, that inspire art, mythology, and innovation. These archetypes provide a framework for creative fantasy to manifest in meaningful ways. By emphasizing creative fantasy, Jung elevates imagination as a serious and essential human faculty, not a trivial or secondary one. The question, what right have we then to depreciate imagination? The second part of the quote is a rhetorical question that challenges societal attitudes toward imagination. Jung is critiquing the tendency to dismiss or devalue imagination in favor of qualities like logic, reason, or practicality. This critique can be understood in several contexts. Cultural bias toward rationality. In Jung's time, and still today, Western culture often prioritizes empirical, rational thinking over intuitive or imaginative processes. For example, science and industry may be seen as serious pursuits, while art or imaginative exploration is sometimes dismissed as frivolous or impractical. Jung argues that this hierarchy is misguided, as imagination is the root of all progress. Education and socialization. Many educational systems emphasize rote learning, measurable outcomes, or practical skills over creativity and imagination. Jung's question implies that this approach stifles human potential by undervaluing the very faculty that drives innovation. Psychological implications. In Jungian psychology, suppressing imagination can disconnect individuals from their unconscious, leading to psychological stagnation or alienation. Imagination is a pathway to self-discovery and individuation, the process of becoming one's true self, and devaluing it harms both individuals and society. Jung's question is a call to reevaluate our priorities and recognize imagination as a legitimate and powerful force. By asking what right have we, he suggests that dismissing imagination is not only unwarranted but also detrimental, as it undermines the source of human creativity and progress. Jung's broader philosophical and psychological context. To fully appreciate the quote, it's important to situate it within Jung's worldview. The collective unconscious. Jung believed that the collective unconscious, shared by all humans, is a reservoir of universal symbols and ideas. Creative fantasy allows individuals to tap into this collective wisdom, producing works that resonate across cultures and time. The role of myth and symbolism. For Jung, imagination is the language of myth and symbolism, which are essential for understanding human experience. Myths, religions, and art, all products of imagination, help humans make sense of existence and connect with deeper truths. Balance of opposites. Jung often emphasized the need to balance rational and irrational, conscious and unconscious. Imagination, as a bridge between these realms, is crucial for psychological wholeness and societal progress. Depreciating it disrupts this balance. Implications of the quote. Jung's statement has far-reaching implications for individuals, societies, and cultures. Valuing creativity. The quote advocates for nurturing imagination in education, work, and personal life. Encouraging creative fantasy can lead to innovation, problem-solving, and personal fulfillment. Challenging materialism. In a world often dominated by materialistic or utilitarian values, Jung reminds us that imagination is the source of meaning and progress. For example, scientific breakthroughs like Einstein's theory of relativity began with imaginative thought experiments, not just empirical data. Psychological growth. On an individual level, embracing imagination allows people to explore their inner worlds, confront their unconscious, and achieve greater self-awareness. This aligns with Jung's concept of individuation. Cultural renewal. Societies that value imagination are more likely to produce art, literature, and innovations that inspire and uplift. Conversely, dismissing imagination can lead to cultural stagnation or overly mechanistic ways of life. Examples to illustrate the quote. To make Jung's point concrete, consider these examples. Technological innovation. The invention of the airplane by the Wright brothers began with their imaginative vision of human flight, inspired by observing birds and dreaming of possibilities beyond the ground. Artistic masterpieces. Works like Picasso's Guernica or Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings originated in the artist's ability to imagine vivid, symbolic worlds that convey profound truths. Scientific theories. Einstein's theory of relativity was born from his imaginative thought experiments, such as visualizing himself riding a beam of light. Social progress. Movements like civil rights or environmentalism often start with a vision of a better world, imagined before it becomes reality. In each case, the works of man began with creative fantasy, proving its foundational role. Why this matters today. In 2025, Jung's words remain highly relevant. In an era dominated by technology, data, and artificial intelligence, there's a risk of prioritizing efficiency and measurable outcomes over creativity and imagination. Yet, as Jung suggests, imagination is what drives innovation in these very fields. For example, AI development itself relies on human imagination to envision new applications and ethical frameworks. Climate change solutions require imaginative thinking to design sustainable systems and inspire collective action. Mental health challenges, exacerbated by modern life, can be addressed through creative practices like art therapy or Jung's active imagination, which foster emotional and psychological healing. Moreover, in a world where conformity and algorithmic thinking can dominate, Jung's defense of imagination is a reminder to cultivate individuality, creativity, and visionary thinking. Conclusion. Carl Jung's quote is a powerful defense of imagination as the root of all human achievement. By asserting that all the works of man originate in creative fantasy, he highlights the essential role of envisioning possibilities in art, science, culture, and personal growth. His rhetorical question challenges us to reconsider societal attitudes that diminish imagination in favor of rationality or practicality. For Jung, imagination is not a luxury but a necessity, a bridge to the unconscious, a source of innovation, and a pathway to meaning. By embracing and valuing creative fantasy, we unlock the potential to create, transform, and understand ourselves and the world in profound ways. This detailed explanation aligns with Jung's psychological and philosophical insights while offering a modern perspective on why imagination remains a cornerstone of human progress.